1984 wasn't just another year, it was a cultural explosion. The music was louder, the movies were bigger, the toys were cooler, and the hair, well, the hair had its own gravitational pull. Everything about 1984 felt like the universe had cranked the fun dial to 11 and snapped off the knob. Let's start with the movies, because 1984 might just be the single greatest movie year of all time. You had Police Academy kicking things off, a movie so ridiculous, so quotable, and so full of sound effects that half of us spent the next decade trying to imitate Michael Winslow in class. It was pure comedy chaos, bumbling cops, bad haircuts, and one-liners that could still make you laugh 40 years later.
Is no longer the #1 problem.
Then Starman landed. Jeff Bridges played an alien who comes to Earth, learns to drive, and somehow manages to be more romantic than any human man alive. It was emotional sci-fi, the kind that made you think maybe E.T. had a cousin who listened to soft rock and gave really good hugs.
If you do not want this baby, tell me now, I will stop it.
And then came Red Dawn. Nothing says 1984 like a movie where teenagers armed with hunting rifles save America from an invasion. You had Patrick Swayze yelling, "Wolverines!" and making every small-town kid believe they were one snowmobile ride away from saving the country. It was over-the-top patriotism and pure 80s adrenaline. The Never-Ending Story gave us imagination on steroids, flying dogs, evil nothingness, and a kid reading a book that literally comes to life. The movie taught us two things. One, that every fantasy needs a giant flying carpet dog hybrid named Falcor. And two, that we'd never really emotionally recover from losing Artax in the swamps of sadness. That moment scared us more than any horror movie ever could.
Why don't you do what you dream, Bastian? But I can't. I have to keep my feet on the ground. Call my name. Bastian, please save us.
And speaking of horror, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, came out in 84 too. Spoiler, it wasn't the final chapter, but at the time, we believed it. Jason was slicing his way through campers again, and we couldn't get enough. The slasher craze was alive and well, and theaters smelled like popcorn and panic. Somebody should probably call the cops. Beverly Hills Cop dropped and changed comedy forever. Eddie Murphy was unstoppable, fast-talking, smooth, and hilarious. That theme song alone, Axel F., could make you feel like you were about to solve a case, even if you were just walking to 7-Eleven. And The Last Starfighter wrapped it all up with one of the most relatable dreams of the decade. Playing video games and getting recruited by aliens because you were that good. Every time we beat a high score after that, we half expected a spaceship to land outside and offer us a job saving the galaxy. TV in 1984 was firing on all cylinders too. Who's the Boss introduced us to Tony Danza, the world's most charming housekeeper, moving in with Angela, a strong, successful woman in shoulder pads. Their will they, won't they tension powered the show for years, and Judith Light made professionalism look illegal. Speaking of crime, Night Court was just around the corner, turning a courtroom into one of the funniest places on TV. Harry Anderson was the magic-loving judge who didn't take himself too seriously, and the show had a cast of characters that felt straight out of a comedy dream team. Bull the bailiff, Dan the sleazy lawyer, and a rotating lineup of oddballs that could only exist in the 80s. But beyond the screen, 1984 felt different. It was the kind of year where you could walk into a store and see magic sitting on the shelves. Let's talk toys, because this is where things got serious. The Ghostbusters Ecto-1 car? Legendary. If you had it, you weren't just playing, you were ghostbusting. The back door opened, the roof rack had gadgets, and the little blue siren made every living room feel like you were in downtown around Manhattan after a ghost outbreak. And then there was Transformers, the Thundercracker G1, a jet that turned into a robot. That wasn't just a toy, that was sorcery. Transformers were the bridge between cartoons, toy stores, and total obsession. And let's not forget how those toy commercials were cinematic events on their own. Every ad had explosions, electric guitars, and a voice yelling, "New from Hasbro." It didn't even matter if your parents said no, because that toy was already burned into your brain. Video games in 1984 were taking over the world. Marble Madness dropped, and suddenly rolling a marble through mazes became the most addictive thing imaginable. It was simple, frustrating, and hypnotic. The kind of game that made you tilt your controller even though you knew it didn't help. And Duck Hunt? Come on. That zapper gun made everyone feel like they were a sharpshooter, until that smug little dog laughed at you for missing. If you know, you know. That laugh still haunts people. The culture of 1984 was unstoppable. Arcades were packed, malls were full, and MTV was in its absolute prime. Every Friday night felt like something was happening. A new song dropping, a new show premiering, a new toy hitting the shelves. You could flip channels between Night Court and Who's the Boss, then head outside to play Ghostbusters in your driveway until the streetlights came on. It was also a year of firsts. Apple aired the legendary 1984 commercial during the Super Bowl, introducing the Macintosh and declaring that technology was about to change everything. People didn't realize it then, but that one ad basically predicted the world we live in now, just with fewer mullets. But here's what made 1984 so special. It didn't feel like the future was coming. It felt like we were already living in it. From the music to the movies to the tech and toys, there was this energy of optimism, like we were standing on the edge of something huge, fun, and unstoppable. We laughed with Eddie Murphy. We cried with Artax. We quoted "Don't move or I'll blow this whistle" from Police Academy. And we spent way too much time trying to beat Duck Hunt without cheating. We built our imaginations around the never-ending story and our friendships around Marble Madness and Defender. And that's the beauty of 1984. It wasn't just entertainment. It was a feeling, a creative explosion that hit every part of life. From what we watched and played to what we wore and said, it was the perfect blend of heart, humor, and pure invention. So yeah, maybe George Orwell's 1984 predicted a dark dystopia, but the real 1984, it was nothing short of awesome. It gave us laughter, adventure, and a sense of wonder that hasn't been matched since. Looking back now, one thing's for sure, 1984 wasn't just the best year of the decade, it might have been the best year ever.
Please don't make me do anything.